Everybody, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome. Hola a todo el mundo, bienvenidos. Espero que estén teniendo un buen día. ¿Cómo están? Hello. Be strong, guys. Be strong. Be strong. We're starting off strong, and we're starting off with probable fire and intent to harm the talent. Guys, I have to rank Pikachu first. I have to go against... Well, not against, but I have to go for the most iconic... One of the most iconic mascots in the history of ever. Today. So, hi! Rodrigo, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Vorador. Rodrigo, no. Bienvenido. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Espero que estén teniendo un buen día. Welcome. Vorador, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Nimby, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Lydia, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Ritesh, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Rancor, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Officer, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Stig, bro! Stig! Stig, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. If it's not Fat Pachu, the OG Pikachu, it doesn't matter. Well, we have what we have. Remember that the tier list that we found is like the best we could find in the moment. We didn't necessarily find anything that was like the absolute best. We just found the best available at the moment. Pretty lengthy and boring day today. Tomorrow, Friday, at last. At last. You're so close. And you're done with today. You're done. You're almost like ready with the entirety of the day. So you're very close. Very, very, very close. Pretty sure your stream died 3 minutes ago. What do you mean? Wait, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? What happened? I didn't notice anything. Drawing, so I'm not gonna be able to fully be in chat. Yes, of course. I hope your drawing goes well. Wait a minute, this isn't a Digimon tier list. No, and I never pretended it was. I'm not gonna stoop as low as you want me to. I'm not gonna fucking clickbait. I'm not gonna do it. Be strong, guys, like Ellie's opinions. The worst part is that I'm not even... Like, I'm not coming into this with super strong opinions. I feel like with Power World, I had stronger opinions. I feel like with Gen 3, I had stronger opinions. I feel like Gen 1 is so well known. So, I have been seeing it by osmosis, even though I've never played the games. I feel like it's hard to have strong opinions on stuff that feels so... Like, it's always been there, you know? Like, it feels like it's always been there just because of how popular it is. Just because of how well-known it is, that I've absorbed it by osmosis. So, it's hard to have strong opinions, because it's kind of like... Do you have strong opinions on... I don't know, maybe you do. Maybe you do. But like when something is such a fact of life, you have less strong opinions, I feel like. Such an official professional greeting? Did I say something wrong? Oh god. Did I say something wrong? In fact, Gen 1 Pikachu was such an iconic chunkers, and in Generation 8 they made its Gigantamax form chunky. Pretty sure your stream died 3 minutes ago. I don't know what you mean with the stream dying 3 minutes ago. I hope that it wasn't anything big or bad, and I hope that it doesn't keep happening. If it was a microcut, I didn't notice it, and if it was, I hope it's done. I hope it's done and it's not gonna come back. Next, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Hamza, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I know that we have the chunky Pikachu is like the original, but this is what we have. So this is where we're starting with today. Iconic cooked some fish because I should be doing that more, and now there's a permanent fish smell everywhere. That is the big problem with fish. If you can cook with windows open, that's better. But yeah, that's kind of something that you have to get used to. As someone who loves a lot of foods that are considered very smelly, you kind of have to get used to it. Like, I'm a big fan of cauliflower, and like broccoli, and those stink up so bad when you're cooking them. But like, I freaking love them, so you get used to it. My name is Ralsei. I drive Mercedes-Benz. My name is Mercedes-Benz. I don't understand that. You can read this Pikachu and say as an honorary mention, Chonkachu would be in X year. I don't want to do that. No. No. You know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into that. But yeah, today, let me actually introduce the topic before I actually rank anything at all. Today, we are continuing with the Gen 1 rankings. Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. I hope I don't make a lot of people hate me. That's what we're hoping for today. Sweet AK, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Tier ranking, my next tier ranking. No. Sadly, today we're still tier ranking Gen 1 Pokemon. Today we're still on that. Hopefully, we're gonna get more than we already did. Although, it wasn't bad. How many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25. 25 ain't bad. I can do more, though. I can do more. If I can do 35 today, that would be fantastic. Oh, now that you mentioned next week. Next week, we're actually not gonna have a tier ranking stream. I'm not gonna make a big announcement or anything. Next week is gonna be half a week. The other half a week, I'm not gonna be able to stream. So, the one stream that I'm cutting off, tier ranking. My Singing Monsters tier ranking would take like 20 streams. How many are there? I don't wanna know. Do I wanna know? I don't wanna know. Same as if I did like Cookie Run, that would take a billion years. I will microwave some of this fish tomorrow at work. It will be glorious. You will be hated. But you know what? Health comes first. Health comes first. So yeah, how about we get into this? I counted once. I think it's over 300, and that's without the rare and epic variants. Oof. Yeah, that's way too much. That's like actually way too much. Alright, so let's get started. Tier ranking, Gen 1, Pokemon, continuation, starting with Pikachu. Don't hate me. I don't fully like Pikachu. Shocker, horror, anger, fire, torches being prepared. I know, but I don't understand how it became the most iconic creature in all of everything. I feel like if you think about it a little bit too hard, you're just confused. What is this creature supposed to feel like? Like, I'm someone who super immerses in the universes, and I cannot tell if I touch a Pikachu if it's gonna feel fluffy, if it's gonna feel just like metal. Because I look at the tail and it's like that's gonna feel like a metal plank, like a wood plank. That's gonna feel harsh and ungiving. Same with the ears. Same with the ears. It's cute. I'm not gonna deny that. It has a cute face. But the shape is not even that... Like, the silhouette is not even that impressive either. You look at something like... You look at something like this, right? And it has such a defined silhouette. You look at something like this or this, and it has such a defined silhouette. You look at something like this even, and it has such a defined silhouette. And with Pikachu, it's like the ears and the tail are doing all of the work. All of it. all of the dead weightlifting. It's a mouse? It doesn't fucking look like a mouse. That's the thing. Mildest take ever? Really? Not... It's one of the most iconic creatures in all of Pokemon and all of mascot designs ever. So I'm surprised. Oh wow. I'm surprised people are not hating me for this. Llama Post Staff, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Have I seen you here before? Just in case, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the pit. I hope you enjoy your time here. I think Pikachu got iconic from his rarity in Gen 1 Viridian first. I'm gonna have to believe you on that because I don't even know what you're talking about. Specifically, it's something called a Pika, which is in fact a little chunker. But it doesn't look like a mouse. The ears don't look like ears. That has always bothered me. They look more like horns than they look like ears. Like, that's not an ear shape. It doesn't even have an inner ear or anything. But before I rank him, I'm gonna go to Raichu. In my mind, in my heart, in my soul, Raichu is everything good about Pikachu but better. Except for the red cheeks, they would be better as red cheeks. But Raichu fixes most of my issues that I have. First of all, the silhouette is significantly better. With this lining sharp and tied to a little line, that allows you to have a lot of empty space in between the figure. The ears have a much more defined shape, and they have an inner ear. They have an actual inner ear, so they actually read as ears. And by having all of these little areas of like slightly brown compared to the lighter brown, it gives it that cuteness thing that animals sometimes have, which is like, oh, you have socks, oh, you have bootsies, oh, you have a lot of, you know? I like Raichu so much more than Pikachu. So much more. And I will have to rank accordingly. Do I think Raichu is perfect, don't change a little thing? Kinda. I don't like the color palette quite as much. I feel like it has to have a more vibrant yellow like Pikachu does to contrast with the brown a little bit more because it's a little bit too similar. Like, if you look at this compared to that, I don't feel like they're on the same level. This one has such contrast. It has such pose. It has such presence. Something about the Raichu is weird, and I think it's specifically the color palette not having as high contrast as I wanted to. Also, again, the red cheeks and the inner ear could have a little pink, a little bit, you know, cuteness. So therefore, I'm gonna put it right here, which means I'm gonna put Pikachu like middle of the road. Maybe I'll put him like right next to Squirtle. But yeah, that's where I'm ranking the most iconic mascot in the history of mascots. Leo Verman, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Pikachu got iconic because he was the main character in the anime and that's it. Okay. You know what? That explains it a little bit better. It wasn't meant to be a mascot, and in the games it only exists in one location, although early, where it has a 5% encounter rate, meaning that a lot of the kids will miss it. Damn! So it's rare. I like Raichu more. Heck yeah, pretty much. Okay! Oh my god! Oh my god, this isn't even a hot take! People are agreeing! People are agreeing! Let's go! For me, Raichu was always the older brother bully Pikachu. Nah, he doesn't look like a bully. He doesn't look like a bully to me, at least. Like Raichu a lot better. Shame the anime writers were cripplingly terrified of change. I do think it's a much better design. Careful with Raichu cheeks. I think those got recolored on newer sprites. I might be misremembering. I would love to see recolored cheeks because that yellow is kind of getting super lost. Check Alolan Raichu. Okay, but we're gonna check significantly less stuff this time around, okay? Because we've done a lot of that last time, and I need to not spend too much time. Oh, the Alolan version is so cute! What? Ah, it's so cute! It does have the stupid spiral things that I don't like in Pokemon designs. I do not like those weird spirals. But it's really cute. Anyways, enough of that. We're gonna have to go through a lot of Pokemon. So, Logan Angle, welcome and hello. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Angle? I called you Logan Angle. What the fuck? Logan, welcome and hello. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Reminder, Gen 3 color palettes are lighter, so don't judge it too much on the palette. I have to. Palette is such an important part of design. To be fair, now I want a design review of the Mario Brothers. Of the Mario Bro? Why? Why? Ellie making the coolest of takes. Now watch her boldly charge into saying the most controversial take of her career next. I thought the Pikachu one was going to be controversial. I really didn't expect people to be that uninterested in Pikachu. Alright, next up, it's this little guy who is honestly so cute. And I have nothing bad to say about it. Silhouette, recognizable enough. The little ears, very good for breaking up the silhouette and for giving that extra cuteness. And this is supposed to be like an actual animal, right? But it's also like distinct enough from that animal. I like that it looks like bricks. But it's also like, oh, you get the exoskeleton stuff. Like, you get the exoskeleton thing. But it looks kind of like bricks, like sandstone, which is just really freaking cool. An armadillo. Yeah, so you can see where the armadillo is supposed to come in, but it's also distinct enough that it feels like a fantasy armadillo instead. And it has like that texture in the skin that is like bricks. I really, really fucking like this guy. I actually really, really like it. I will forever find it wild that one of the most recognizable mascots in the world is a balding, middle-aged, and overweight dude. What? Oh, Mario Brothers! Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Yeah. Rachel can take a nap on its own tail, and that's a bonus point from me. Yeah! Isn't that super fucking cute? Logan Angle, I hate that guy. He's always cramping my style. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trigger you with Logan Angle. You don't like Angle more than me, right? No. Blah. Logan Angle? Blah. We hate that guy. Who invited him? Oh my god. Who invited Logan Angle? He's stinky. Now, you, Logan Angle, are an entirely different story. Much better. You should see the other version of Gen 3 Sandshrew. I've seen Gen 3 already, so I probably have. It's just hard to remember all of them. Sandrew. Sandrew and Sandslash. I'm assuming Sandslash is the next one. They can curl into balls and spin. That sounds like a good ability for a Pokemon. Very classic, very traditional, which I'm guessing is because Pokemon maybe invented it. I don't know. The brick texture implies sturdy, wall-like, unbreakable, etc. I know! It's really cool! It's really cool. I really, really like this guy. And in fact, I like him so much. It's like simple, effective, no notes, literally wouldn't change a thing. And if I won't change a thing, then it belongs in the top tier. If I want to change anything at all, I have to bump it down. But there's not a thing I would change. He's cute. He looks very hard to break in. He looks like an armadillo, but distinct enough that it's a fantasy armadillo. He has a recognizable silhouette. He has a very nice, subtle color palette. It's just simple and effective design. So next up is this guy. Wait, let me check just in case this thing. Yeah, he's cute. He looks fun. He looks like a friend. Next up is this guy who is Sandslash, you guys said? Near, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Near, welcome. Sup? Nothing's so much. That was a bad attempt. That was a very bad attempt. You missed Pikachu. You missed the Pikachu, which is the most important thing ranking, right? You missed the Pikachu ranking. Curl up into a ball and spin is a very iconic Pokemon move, and probably the most well-known user of the move is a cow. A cow? You've gotta be joking. You've gotta be joking. You should see the Alolan versions. The problem is that if I try to check every single Alolan version of anything, this is never going to finish. So instead, I'm not gonna. I need to finish this tier ranking at some point. At some point, this tier ranking has to end. And it's not gonna happen if I get diverted to watch the Alolan version of every single one of these guys. Based? You think that's a good opinion? Oh my god, you guys have never... You guys have never agreed with me this much. Something's off, something's weird. Alright, so... I like this guy a lot. Again, he looks very much like a pangolin, which I'm pretty sure is what it's supposed to be. He has the good silhouette. He has the simple and effective design. He has the big threatening claws, which if it's an evolution is supposed to look more dangerous and more threatening. There's one tiny thing that I don't like, and I don't know how I would fix it, but I would try to, which is that the spikes things, they are supposed to read as like the armor of a pangolin, right? They're supposed to look like this tough exoskeleton thing, like this plaques, right? But for some reason they look more like unbrushed hair, like he's trying to look edgy. There's something, and I'm not entirely sure what. A tiny little change that could possibly have been made to make it look more like plates of armor instead of spiky hair that an emo was gelling to look edgy. And I'm not trying to say that as like the worst thing ever. I'm just trying to explain how I perceive it. The one thing that I don't quite like about it. Miltank is infamous since on Gen 2, the three gym leader used Miltank, and Miltank used the move where the Pokeball rolls to attack. Not relevant to this tier list, so I'm gonna ignore that. I haven't seen the thing! I haven't seen the show! Or played the games. None of what you're talking about I know anything about. To be fair, there's not that many regional versions of Gen 1 Pokemon. I still don't want to lose too much time to Googling stuff this time around. That Pokemon is cute. Watch, this one or the previous one? I think the previous one is significantly cuter. There's 18 Alolan versions according to Google, and they were also not saying you should check all of them, but some of them. I feel like it's gonna come up with every one of them, though. I just do. We agree as enthusiastically as possible when we can, because we know that broken dreams are just around the corner. You know they are. So yeah, I'm not gonna put it like up there. I just wanted one little tweak with this guy. I just wanted the plates in the back to look more plate-like, to look more ordered, to not look like a hedgehog, but like a pangolin. Because if you've ever seen a pangolin, it's so ordered. It's so perfect. The plates are so perfect. Probably have the spikes stick out more. Probably. I mean, those are just fat spikes. Yeah, but that's the thing. It should look more like plates of armor, like a pangolin. Be right back. I'm gonna commission a picture of a Sandslash with long, beautiful brush hair instead of plates. Don't do that. Don't do that. You already passed a couple of Alolan versions. Those are not plates. Those are spikes. They're supposed to be plates, though, if it's supposed to be a pangolin, you know? Like, it could be both. It could look like plates and like spikes if you design it well. The hell is a pangolin? It's an animal! It's the animal this is based on! You've never seen a pangolin? Plates are flat armor pieces y eso es un erizo con púas. Aquí viene el pangolin. Because this is supposed to be a pangolin! It's based on a pangolin! The first one is based on a pangolin, and this one is based even more on a pangolin. If you've ever seen a pangolin, the resemblance is uncanny. It's based on an armadillo porcupine. You look at a pangolin and tell me this is not supposed to be a pangolin. Especially with the whole rolling. Like, come on, bro. I like when they run around with things in their little grubby hands. The sand shrews? The sand slashers? Or the pangolins? It is not a fucking hedgehog. It's a pangolin. Pangolins, yeah, they're so cute. But they have things in their grubby little hands. I love them so much. Pangolin looks closer. That's what I'm saying. If you look at a pangolin, it's clearly supposed to be a pangolin. Clearly. Especially because it's called sand shrew and sand slash. So it's supposed to be a desert-based animal. And that's what pangolins are. Oh wait, pangolins are what they are called. I thought Ellie made up an entirely new animal. Bro, why would I make up an animal? It was definitely influenced by those, yeah. If you've ever seen a pangolin, this is very clearly supposed to be a pangolin. I'm not lying. I'm not making shit up. So is a snake woman? I am a snake woman. And that's why I know. That's why I know. Your face is a pangolin? It's not. She wouldn't make up an animal intentionally. She might make up a new name for one, though. Yeah, that could happen. I could see that happening. I could really see that happening. Sandslash can roll up its body as if it were a ball covered with large spikes. In battle, this Pokemon will try to make it the full flinch by jabbing it with spines. Then it leaps at the stunned foe to tear wildly into the sharp claws. Yeah, again, you can make it look like both plates of armor and spikes if you're doing it well. Are pangolins the things with long tongues that eat ants? I'm pretty sure they do eat ants, but you might be thinking of the ant eater, which is... Oh, what's the name of the ant eater? I swear I know it, but not right now. Consider this, your face could be a pangolin. How? Tapir? I don't think it's a tapir either, but you might be right. Because I'm blanking very bad right now. Antelope? Definitely not antelope. There's a Pokemon that has a pangolin face? Yeah, he's called Sandslash. He's called Sandslash. I'm dying on that hill. I am dying on this hill. Every time I look at Nidoran, I hear it screaming in my head. Why? Because of the shape of the sprite? He does look like he's screaming. Turns out Ellie taught me something today, huh? Well, there's a first time for everything, I guess. I should be teaching you more stuff. You should be learning some stuff from me. Kind of regularly. Not every time, but kind of regularly. Ellie is surely the queen of the hill. At this point, with how many hills I'm dying on, I don't think I can defend them as a queen. Anyways, this guy. How did you call it? How'd you call it? Nidoran! Okay, so Nidoran. I like Nidoran. I like him a lot. I don't understand the tail. Let me see. Oh, so I don't understand the tail because it's tail and spikes. Okay. So it's supposed to be like spikes all around, and then that last one, that one last little nub is the tail. Okay. I really like it. I don't think I super like the horn. But one horn symmetrical, I can deal with that. It's kind of like a unicorn. It's good. It's fine. I'm talking about Heatmore? Heatmore? Am I losing my mind? That doesn't sound like a Pokemon. Why is Nidoran screaming? Why wouldn't it? If you knew what he does, you'd be screaming too. Is he just an angry little guy? Is he just an angry little guy? Nidoran Duran! Oh my god, my favorite band, Duran Duran! Nidoran Duran! We are putting him in S tier just for that! People who are new to this channel are not getting anything out of that. I'm so sorry. So there's Nidoran male and Nidoran female. Blue is female. How about you fix your skill issue and stop dying on all those heals, or just take cover? No! These are my heals to die on, and I'll die on as many as I want. Blue is female, pink is male. It doesn't matter, guys. I'm gonna judge it regardless of the gender based on the design. We don't need it. We don't need to know. I don't need to remember this. Like, you want me to remember that? Maybe I will. It's kind of easy. Like, you're saying two things, like pink or blue. It's not that difficult. But I may not remember it, and it doesn't matter if I don't. Thankfully, because the design is the design. The design is the design. Let me just say, I love Ken Sugimori's original watercolor artwork. That's why we have it around. And also, it is helping to understand certain things that I'm not getting from the sprites. Like, this would not have told me that this has a horn. Like, the horn, I didn't get that. The tail, I was very confused. Now I understand it. I'm gonna say a couple things about this design. I love the big ears. I love the big ears. Andy Nork, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before, so just in case, welcome to the channel, welcome to the pit. I hope you have a good time here. Welcome. Fun fact, even though breeding was introduced in Gen 2, Nidoran male can't breed with Nidoran female. According to the game theory, they are actually based on an animal that can't breed in captivity. That's really stupid, though. That's really stupid to make it, like, not being able to breed. And I understand, like, it can't be bred in captivity. That's what the reference, blah, blah, blah. I think if I'm playing a game, I'm gonna be more disappointed than interested in the fun fact. Personally, I'll never forgive that little shit for ruining an us. What the hell going? Oh no, you have trauma with this one. You have history. I don't. And I think it's really cute. I think I really like the shape. I think I really like, particularly the shape of the ears. The shape of the ears is so unique, so special, so like very clearly alien. I love it. I love the blue. You know that I have a bias for blue. Freaking love blue things. I really, really like that. And I like that it's really, really like a round little cutesy thing. Kind of a rodent, I guess, based on the whiskers and the teeth. It's adorable. I think I could lose the spikes in the back. I think I could lose the spikes in the back, but overall, it's great. I'm gonna put it in the second tier. I'm gonna put it in the second tier. Duran Duran Metal Gear reference? I've never played Metal Gear, actually, ever. Duran Duran is your favorite band? That makes all the MGS edits so much funnier in retrospect for me. I've never listened to Duran Duran. I have no idea how the bit that it's like I'm their number one fan came from. I legitimately do not remember where the bit started. That was years ago. But if you ask me about Duran Duran, I'm gonna say I'm their number one fan. I've never listened to a song. Don't remember why we started this joke. But I'm gonna continue it forever. Forever. The gender matters in their lines, not for the designs. Not for the designs. The official explanation says not same group of eggs when they try to breed, and yes, all Pokemon lay eggs. But see, that's even worse. I would be very disappointed if I couldn't breed the same freaking Pokemon with basically the same name and design. I would be very disappointed if I was playing and that. Never play Metal Gear? Wait until you find out what the name of the IP's protagonist is. I know it's Solid Snake, or Liquid Snake, or Gaseous Snake. I don't know. It's one of those three. It's State of Element Snake. I remember the bit itself very well. I have a hard time remembering the context. Same. I love that bit. How did it start? Fuck if I know. Plasma Snake? Yeah, sure. Plasma Snake. Sure, yes. That one. That guy. Love that guy. Number one fan of that guy. Ultra low temperature liquid crystal snake. Yeah. My second favorite in the franchise, actually. Oh my god. Okay, so anyways, this guy, she's a straight improvement as far as the sprite goes, but I don't like the actual artwork, watercolor of the evolution. In the sprites, I actually really like everything this brings to the table in comparison to the last one. Because with the last one, it was like a fine enough shape because of the whiskers and because of the ears. But this one has a much more defined shape, much more defined silhouette. Her face looks a lot more like she's giving a lot more attitude. This one was just randomly screaming, and I couldn't understand if it was screaming in fear, in anger, in defiance, in battle crying. I didn't understand if it was like calling. I got nothing out of that. But in this one, that face has a lot of personality. It has so much personality. Then the ears still have those little spikes that gives it a lot of interest. The spikes are also a lot more clear now in the back. Like, it's very clearly spikes and not weird little knobs. And I didn't mention this before, but like, I love the blue with the stronger blue patches. Like this little marks in the skin. Really love that. Absolutely fantastic design. Every time I see a design that has like those little scales stuff, I get biased. I can't help myself. Okay? I can't help myself. I love it. When I see patches of darker color that I may as well call like little scales, absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna put this one in like perfect, don't change a thing. I actually really like it. Do I miss the little tipsies on the front? Do I miss the little rodent tipsies? Yes I do. I wish they were still there, but at the same time, it doesn't fit the vibe. It doesn't fit the new vibe. I can understand that. I can understand. So I'm gonna put it up front. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Start ordering them properly. Because nothing so far has been better than Charizard. Metal Gear Solid 5 is a game where headed Pajingles puts his protagonist in a microwave. Headed Pajingles just broke my brain. Is that a name? Is that a name? I've never played any Metal Gear, but I love Maxor video about Metal Gear Rising, the memes rated. I don't think I've seen that. I mean, Metal Gear Solid 4. I've never played any of them. Bongos, welcome and hello. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome. For whenever you catch up. Hi, you caught up. Congrats. Well, maybe not. Maybe you're still watching. Sorry if that's the case. Key and Peele is blood loss has made me delirious. Tell me a story. I love Key and Peele. Headed Pajingles, Hideo Kojima. What the fuck? Who calls him that and why? I missed like every transition of that meme. I missed all of the steps. How did that start? Where does it come from? I literally never seen it. I could have never guessed that you were trying to say Hideo Kojima. That's crazy. I am now actually very interested in knowing where the meme comes from. I like learning about memes that I've never come across. Alright, next up! Next up is the final part of this evolution, and I'm not gonna lie, this is such a downgrade. Such a downgrade in my opinion. First, because I don't like the mustardy yellow they added to the palette. Nidoqueen? Listen, Nidoqueen, you're not my queen by far. I don't like the weird mustard yellow they added to the palette. If I had added something, it would have been a lot more white, you know? Second, I guess this is the female one. Does it have to have, like, boob plates? Does it have to have boob plates? I don't like it. Also, is that supposed to be a little pouch for the baby? I get that. But why does it have a line in between as if it was a plate? I don't like that. I don't like that. I also don't like that the jaw is colored a different like color. And it looks like it's, I don't know, like a metal jaw instead of part of the animal. I would not have colored the jaw differently. If I had, it would have been a much more organic kind of face paint shape. I don't understand why we have a horn again. It goes horn, no horn, horn. And I don't get it. If the horn absorbed, let it be absorbed. Let it be done. Also, in this one, it looks better because it's kind of like closer to the snout. It's kind of closer to the front of the face. In this one, it looks like it's like on the head but tilting back. And I don't understand. Oh no, I'm getting confused with the ear. This is where the horn is. Okay, that's better. That's better. I still don't like it. I still think this is a downgrade. I still don't like the boob plates, nor the jaw separation. It's definitely a downgrade. I'm trying to figure out how much of a downgrade. It is. I'm assuming it's what speech-to-text engine thought Hideo Kojima was when I heard it audibly. I don't know, but I want to know. I want to go into know your meme later. The thing is, I'm not going to remember it, sadly, but I really want to know how that happened. This one guy named Maxor makes videos about games, but instead of a normal video, it's an acid trip narrated by a monotone voice. Oh, that's what you're bringing out text-to-speech. No argument, I never liked the third form of the Nido lines. Really? Okay. What about the boob cups? Hate them. Hate them. They gave her booba. Yeah, I hate that. Why are the chest parts marked? That's what I'm saying. P.S. No, Nidoqueen doesn't have a pouch. That's other Pokemon. If it's not even a pouch, then why is it color different? Why? If you're not making a pouch, why are you not giving it a little belly shape instead of a pouch shape? I don't like this. I don't like this. Leo, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome. The deck says the horn is lost so we can care for children without accidentally hurting. The horn is there, though. I just didn't see it well the first time. So I'm gonna go... You know what? I'm gonna go... I'll forget it in 2 minutes. It's not like the worst. It's not like super bad. I don't hate it, but it's bad. I don't like it. You know? You see the pouch Pokemon on this gen, but it will be on your last 2 streams. Oof. I really need to rush, huh? I really need to rush. It's like a messed up bikini with marks. Yeah, it is. I don't like it. Alright, so now, the boy version. Straight up, this one is worse. I'm not gonna be unbiased here, okay? I'm not gonna be unbiased. This one is worse. First of all, I don't like the color. It's not pink in my mind. It's a purple, but it's a very pinky purple, but it's also like not a cute purple. I have issues with purple. Like it has so many ways of looking weird to me. I like purple, just not every shade of purple. Some shades of purple I don't like. And this is one of those shades that I really don't like. Also, I don't like how strong that green is compared to that purple. It's weird. Also, I don't like that red in the eyes. If you're gonna make the inner ear green, just make the eye also green. I do think it's a cute little guy. Like, it's a cute little guy, you know? It has the little horn. It has the textured big ears. It has the teethsies. And if it had been this color palette, I would have been happy with it. This is a nice purple. This is a nice contrast between the blue and the purple. The red here works because it's the only warm color. I don't like this spine. I feel like I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't quite like it. So overall, it's just worse than the previous one. Looks more pissed off than the original Star Walker. He does look pissed off. He does look pissed off. Pinky Purple sounds like it could be the name of a newly debuted car puppy tuber. I think it's a bad name. Pinky Purple? Nah, that sounds bad. I love that the little guy only Nidoran male, not Nidorino or Nidoking. I just... There's too many issues here. Sorry, there's too many issues here. Like, I want the spine to be different. I want the colors to be significantly different. I want the shape in general to be different. I appreciate the horn being a little bit more noticeable, a little bit more understandable. But I want so many changes. So many changes. Maybe I'll put him here. Very bottom of this tier. Classic Kelly, she puts the female hand, the male low. If the colors were switched, I probably would have done the opposite. But you know how it is with me and blue. You know how it is. What about Periwinkle? It's a color. But it sounds like a... I don't know. Periwinkle could work, kind of. But it's weird because Peri is such a name that has been associated with... I mean, not for absolutely everyone. But like Perry the Platypus, that's the first thing you think. Okay, so this next one... Yikes. Ooh, yikes. Yikes. So we have the same problems with the color palette. Now the eye isn't even colored, it's just black. We have this weird lines here that I don't understand why. I don't understand those lines in the elbow and the knees. I don't understand why this jaw looks so disconnected from this jaw. Like, what is that line? In this, it kind of works better. Kind of. But in this, I don't like it. I don't like it. I still don't like the spikes in the back. They never got better. And I don't like it. Man. Yikes indeed, 0 to 10 to his pretty face. Yeah, this one had a pretty adorable winky face. This is like, what happened, buddy? What happened to you? I'm gonna... No, it's better than that. Sorry, this is better than that. Sorry. Strong opinions only today. Alfarius, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome. A note on Sandslash, definitely a pangolin. His JP name is Sandpan. That's what I've been saying the entire time. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the right on that. I think a Perry Mason? Huh. In my case, it's Perry the Platypus. The shiny version of both Nidoran lines have the colors swapped until Nidoqueen breaks the batter. Really? Well, see, that would change for me because I'm such a biased person when it comes to blue things in the science. This is the one that is fighting Gengar in the original game's intro sequence, right? Someone else is gonna have to answer that because I don't even know what the intro sequence is. That's a yikes for me, dog. A Nidorino. I mean, same, I think. I'm not keeping the names straight, but I think same. All right, so this one, I think in this one there's been a slight improvement compared to the last one. If we look at this one again, I think the white inclusion to the color palette actually helps it. Nidoking, I think Nidoking has some things that make it slightly better than the previous one. Alex, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Hi. We have the white in the color palette, which I appreciate. He has the green again, but I think it's a different green. No, it's the same green. It's the same green. For some reason, it works better on this one. Probably because of the area being significantly smaller in comparison to the bigger area, or maybe because of the white. Maybe because of the white. I appreciate that the silhouette now has this big tail to help, you know, understand what's going on. I still hate the spikes in the back so much. Does it have like an extra horn now? No, it just has spikes that start early in the head. I don't like it. It improved slightly, so I'm gonna put him above the last one, but it's not good. It's still not good. I like the addition of this white here and this white here. And, you know, at least unlike the Nidoqueen, this makes more sense because it's like chest and belly pattern. Chest and belly having a different color makes sense. Much more than a pouch that isn't a pouch. And I feel like the shape of the jaw has been fixed as well. It doesn't look like two disconnected parts anymore. It looks like one full head shape. So all in all, it's an improvement. It's an improvement. I think it's about as salvageable as that one, you know? I think it's kind of salvageable in the same manner. Nidokeen's got elbow blades. That's pretty metal. Oh, those are blades? Yeah, I think they're a good addition. I definitely think they're a good addition. Fun fact, he looks big and strong, but he's the size of a 10-year-old child. No way! No way! I don't know if we should ready for Ellie the artwork plus size and weight of the Pokemon. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna mean much to me. If you want to give me a size comparison is good, just so I get the general idea. But like, if you tell me 5 feet, I have no idea what that is. Remember, I don't measure in imperial, I measure in centimeters. To me, 5 feet is just a nebulous number. 1.4 meters? 1.4 meters! Ah, that's adorable! That's adorable! Right. Let's move on! We are so close to some of my absolute favorites. That's the size of 2 cows! I have no idea how much a cow. Y yo no soy para que esperes que te hayan frío millones de millas. Pero digo porque alguien me dijo que eres 5 feet. Digo que alguien antes me dijo 5 feet y no sé qué son 5 feet. I don't know. Ellie doesn't talk in feet fetish, guys. She only knows centimeters. Leo, how are you gonna say that? How are you gonna say that? Anyways, Clefairy. Clefairy is very cute. I like Clefairy. Do I love Clefairy? No. Do I think she's top tier? No. I think the eyes always freaked me out. They are like small and beady, but not in a cute way. I love that Clefairy has a D face, a dot D face, a colon D face. Figburn, welcome and hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Fun fact, Clefairy was originally gonna have a Pikachu spot in the anime. Really? I feel like you're trolling me. I I feel like you're trolling me. I love the physiology of the creature's body also being the creature's face. Plushy physiology or SpongeBob physiology. A Kirby face. I like the plushy faces, but there's something about those eyes that really unsettle me. It's the beatiness of the eyes, but the weird lines they have. Because they have this weird line, but they don't have a sclera. So it's like, what are those lines supposed to be? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I also don't like... we established this. I don't like the spheres. Oh! Forgot the word. Spirals. I don't like the spirals thing. In the top, I kind of vibe with it because it's like a hair curl. You know, it's like a little hair curl. I can understand how that would feel to touch it. If I touch that hair curl, I understand how it would probably feel under my hand. The tail, though, is one of those cases where is it something rolled in on itself? Is it hair? Is it tail? I'm not entirely sure. I like the little wings, and I'm not gonna lie, the silhouette could be better. It's like, it's very messy. I'm not gonna put him at the very, very top, but it's a really good design, you know? It's like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a good design. I wish many things were different, but it's a good design. I would give him a less rolled out tail so that it can add to the silhouette. I would make it, you know, have an interesting shape that makes it have more empty space. I would make the ears not maybe the ears are fine. Maybe the wings need to be a little bit lower. And again, if you change the tail, there will be a lot of empty space for the wings. And I would change the eyes to be a little bit less beady and small, you know? His true theme, Clefairy, was meant to be the Pokemon mascot. I kind of see that. I kind of see that because this is very much a mascot design. I definitely could see an alternative universe in which this is the mascot. And I like that. I like that alternative universe, actually. During the early stages of Pokemon's development, Clefairy was the one intended to be the mascot. That's crazy. What would the world be like? Oh my god, what would the world be like? I like her, but I don't think she would have been as successful as a mascot with those beady eyes. I think it needs a cuter face to be the proper mascot. I love that when they created the fairy type, they almost forgot to give it to Clefairy. And the evolution, yeah, this looks like a fairy type. Absolutely looks like a fairy type. Es como pelo en forma de espiral, me refiero solo para Clefairy su evolución. Sí, es que esta parte se ve como pelo en espiral. La parte de abajo no estoy segura. The tail would probably feel the same. That's the problem. It's the probably. It's the probably. I forget 99% of the time they have wings. They do. They do, clearly. And I like it. But this one, we're coming into trouble. This one doesn't look like wings. This one doesn't look like wings. And that annoys me. Why does that not look like wings? It's bigger. It's more clearly wings. But it also looks like weird, like fins. It looks like fins. I also think the ears being too pointy kind of makes it lose too many cute points. The hair curl is still there, but the proportions are so off now. Like, I want it to be 2 curls maybe, or a big curl. I want the ears to be, if they're gonna be that longer, at least not to be that sharp. Because this is a friend-shaped Pokemon. It's such a round Pokemon. It's such a friend-shaped face and expression and pose. But those very long, very sharp ears kind of don't fit the bill. Same with the wings. They look like pointy fins. And I don't like that. I think the wings should be a little bit rounder. I think the ears should be a little bit rounder. I also don't like that the ears pretty much look exactly like Pikachu's. Am I crazy? It looks like it's trying so hard to be Pikachu in the ears. Just a lot of misses. Just a lot of misses. Give me this design, and I will make the ears different. I will make the hair more voluminous. I will make the wings more round. I will make the tail smaller. Because the tail could be smaller to help with the silhouette. And I will make the face, again, why do we have beady little eyes, a weird line floating in the middle? I don't vibe with that. I don't vibe with that. To me, it looks like stiffer Pikachu ears. That's what I'm saying. Clefairy is cute and cuddly though, great for plushies. Yeah, it's very friend-shaped. Very friend-shaped. Takes entry from Scarlet. On nights with a full moon, Clefairy gathers from all over the place. From all over and dance. Bathing in moonlight makes them float. Oh, that's cute! That's so cute, actually. Clefairy also had that troll move, Metronome, which did a random attack from all the moves in existence. Wow! The craziest thing is that the rights to air the Pokemon anime was given to the US basically for free because of the whole Porygon seizure fiasco. They thought nobody will want to buy the show. I have no idea what you're talking about. The Porygon seizure fiasco. Oh! I may have heard about that, but I'm not entirely sure. It looks like weird flesh spines. Yes, it does! Thank you for understanding what I'm trying to say about the wings. Thank you. I feel like if Clefairy was the mascot, the series would be a lot more cutesy. It's hard to imagine it getting aggressive or in intense fights like Pikachu. You're right. It's such a cutesy-wootsy, round, friend-shaped thing that you're right. The direction probably would have been different as a whole. Clefable is a classic example of the evolution made it less cute rather than more, which I think is what they try to do. They always try to make the evolutions more threatening or more badass instead of more cute. Usually things become less cute when they grow up. Yeah, I think that the evolutions are very consistent in that, but at the very least, it could still have some markers of the cuteness remain, like the wings. Clefairy and Gengar look similar, like Gengar is its shadow. I don't recognize by name, so I don't know which one Gengar is. Voluminous is one of my all-time favorite adjectives for describing hair. Yeah! Voluminous hair is fantastic. Clefable is 1.3 meters, so that pink thing is almost as tall as Nidoking. That feels wrong. No, that feels wrong. It's supposed to be tinier. It's supposed to be tinier. Let's be honest, Pikachu became a fan favorite because of the anime. Oh yeah, we talked about this. We talked about this before. Actually, yeah. Polygon was a Pokemon that got deleted because the episode caused epileptic attacks due to bright lights flashing when Pikachu used Thunderbolt. Ooh, not good. There was an episode in Japan that had a lot of flashing lights and was believed to have caused seizures. Not good. Yeah, things have to have an epileptic warning if they're gonna have a lot of flashing lights. The other day, actually, I saw a movie that there was a point in which I was like, oh shit, the cinema should have warned about this. I don't have sensitivity to flashing lights, but if I had, I would have been on the floor. Like, it's bad. The anime already very much transformed the series to be a lot more cute for many, many years. A lot of people look at many of the original Gen 1 designs and say they are bad because of they're scary or creepy. I think there's places, you know? There's places and places. I personally prefer cuter things, but I don't know if I am the target audience for the show. I think if the show wanted to be like cool monster fighting, it doesn't need to be overly cute. Clefairy is 0.6 meters. Aww. I would literally never evolve her. If I had one of these bitches, I would literally never evolve her. Sorry, you're saying as a baby your entire life. I'm gonna put this second one, Clefabe or whatever, in like not bottom tier, but I really don't like it. I really think it lost. Let's put her like higher on the list. But I really don't like her. Let's put her here. Let's put her here. I feel like it could have been improved in very easy ways. They were meant to be scary and creepy. The player was playing a child because the creator wanted nostalgia, not because it was originally made for kids. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's supposed to be like cool, monsters fighting, it doesn't need to be cute. Because it needs to be just cool and badass, you know? Deal with it. Pokemon uses bad sizes for some of the Pokemon. I have no doubts of that. No doubts of that. Cliffhaven has sensitive hearing, so it likes to live in seclusion. Oh, that's sad. That is sad. Furret is massive. I don't know which one Furret is. After the anime aired, Pokemon games went from rounding and cutifications for many, many generations. And although that's better for me and for my taste, again, I don't know that that's what benefits the concept better. Porygon and its evolutions have never been in the anime since. I feel like you can still implement it without the flashing lights, unless people have like trauma and that's why. Always confused me how they couldn't just edit that episode. Maybe something to do with the production chain of the anime, you know? Gen 1 Pokemon was more meant to be yokai related. That's the reason for the appearance. Yeah, and I mean, if what Rancor is saying is like it was not made for kids, it was made for people who had nostalgia over their childhood, so definitely not kids. And that would make sense. One thing I will say, the Porygon episode, while it had the epileptic scene, it was Pikachu's fault. It was its attack. Porygon itself was innocent, but Porygon was almost erased from the anime. Yeah, that's crazy, because Pikachu could still do that in any other episode. That's crazy. If you want to check out the contrast between the more cutesy tone people claim the anime took the series down versus the original tone, check out the official Pokemon manga. But correct me if I'm wrong, the manga came way after the anime? Correct me if I'm wrong, it could have been. But I think it came after, right? In Pokemon, there is a stone that you put on a Pokemon and it makes the Pokemon not evolve when leveling up. Yeah, and I would have a billion of those. I would have so many of those. You'll understand as I go. You just reminded me, I meant to talk about this earlier. It's weird to me how many times the anime makes it's okay not to evolve your Pokemon topic for its episode. That would be me. I'm the bitch not evolving her Pokemon. I want them to stay cute and adorable. Every gen has at least one badass and deadly Pokemon. Gen 1 has Scyther. I think it makes sense because, again, this is about cool Pokemon, cool monsters fighting, right? It just makes sense. I do not understand why that is. What kid, and the anime is very much for kids, is going to go, no, I don't want to evolve my Pokemon. Me! Hi! That's me! You're talking about me! Hello! Me! That's me! I'm the one! Alright, so... Bullpix! You don't need to tell me the name for this one because it's one of my favorites! I love Bullpix! That being said, what the fuck is the sprite? Why does it look like that? Why does Vulpix look like that in the sprite? And by that I mean, why does it look like the eye is trying to steal my soul? Why? Are you a kid? You're not a kid. I can assure you that as a kid, I would have thought the exact same thing. It's still me. Hi. It's still, you're talking about me? And I would still have the exact same reasoning. I would want my Pokemon to stay cute and adorable. Like, that's not anything that age would have changed in me. The kids will always evolve the Pokemon to be cooler and stronger. Not me, bitch! I want it to be cute and adorable! There was also another episode blocked. It was the Safari episode in which Ash and a friend got a gun pointed at them. Oh yeah, that doesn't sound like something very USA friendly. The manga is not related to the anime at all. Pokemon anime, 3 out of 10. Pokemon manga, 8.5 out of 10. Whatever you rated at is irrelevant to my question, which is, it came well after, right? Scyther is hardly the only badass and deadly Pokemon in Gen 1. Yeah, we've seen a couple of them. Beedrill at the very least. Beedrill for certain. The ideally sickeningly cute monsters doing horrific things in battle. I think that is one good aspect to design your game or show around, but it's not the only way to go. Not the only way to go. I will say Agent 2 badass and then leave Skarmory. Just say that name aloud. Skarmory? Eh. Bad coloring, Ellie. If you search both anime and news price, they face the eye. Yeah, I know. That's why I know that Vulpix is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, because of that eye, I'm gonna have to put it just here, where normally it would be imperfect. I love Vulpix. I love foxes. I love cute things. I love round things. This is a cute, adorable round fox with fluffy tails and hair. Sadly, if I'm judging from the sprite, that eye is so weird. That eye is so weird. I don't like that eye. But everything else is so cute. Everything else is so cute. And then we finally get to Ninetales. The queen of all queens. Look at this bitch. I love her so much. I love her so much. Ninetales is absolutely one of my favorite Pokemon for sure. She looks refined, she looks elegant, she looks powerful, she looks regal, she looks loyal, she looks like she can beat your face, or rather bite your face. She looks like she takes no shit, but she also looks like she's a good time to just lay on her like a pillow. I love Ninetales! Here comes Ninetales, start with Vaporeon for my lifelong favorite, going all the way back to the beginning. I think it's definitely one of my favorites, for sure. The deck says that Ninetales came from 9 wizards fusing into one, and touching its tail puts you into a 1,000-year curse. I'm gonna ignore that. 10,000 years curse. I'm gonna ignore that. That's not true. That tail is not curse material, it's pillow material. And you cannot convince me otherwise. You cannot convince me otherwise. Hiding the Pokemon Pokedex is annoying. A lot are actually length. Yeah, it's a problem. It's actually a problem. Vulpix, when it's born, it has just one snow white tail. The tail splits from its tip as it grows older. I would like to see that, but I don't think that is represented anywhere in any game or anime or manga or anything. Both started in 1997, anime and manga. Huh. I could have sworn the manga came way after. Beedrilling art, witness me. Beedrilling gameplay, strong wind blows and it faints. Is it that weak? Wait, Beedrill is that weak? If we go by more specific, manga is 1 month older than the anime. Whatever. It's the same year. It counts. It counts. She looks so soft. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rexy, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you having a good day. Welcome, welcome. How have I upset you already? Just a shame that you cannot pet their tails. La 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 la. I'm not hearing you. That may be your experience with Ninetales. My Ninetales doesn't curse me if I touch its tail. She just gives me a nice little pillow. Little pillow, man. No cursing. La 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 la. I can't hear you. Nidoking is one of my faves. I'm so sorry, Nair. I'm very sorry. So many people claim they aren't furries, but put Ninetales in the Smash column. Furry. That's a furry thing. I think it's specifically harming or touching the tails disrespectfully somehow rather than just touching the tails at all as far as folklore goes. There you go! I'm safe! I am safe because my Ninetales would offer me her tails as a pillow so it wouldn't be disrespectful because she would want me to. Ha! I remember reading that pulling its tail is equal to being cursed for 1,000 years, not just touching. There you go! There you go! We're safe! We're safe and she's perfect. And I love her so much. I'm gonna say one thing though. The sprite, not my favorite. Like, there's better ways to represent that clump of hair in the other drawings. And like, when I think of Ninetales, I definitely think of how it looks when it's drawn, which is a much more hair texture thing, you know? Like, it doesn't look... Let me pull this up. Like, it doesn't look like that weird and unwashed. It looks like luscious hair. This is what I imagine the Ninetales to look like, with the luscious hair flowing in the wind, you know. So I'm gonna judge it by that. Even though in the sprite it looks a little bit unwashed. I'm gonna give it a pass. Perfect. She's perfect. She's my baby darling, and she's the best. I love Mystery Dungeon series. This was the Pokemon games where you transform into a Pokemon and live in an only Pokemon world. I have heard great things about those. I actually have heard great things about those. Now put Touch Fluffy Tail song but with Ninetales? But that's not what it's based on, right? That's not what it's based on? Clefairy and Clefable are Pee-Pee and Pixie? I don't like the name Pee-Pee. I do not like the name Pee-Pee. I'm sure that you understand why. Playing Pokemon Smasher Pass is inherently furry unless you're submitting paths for every option, and that's at the best. It's closer to just straight up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you're doing a Smasher Pass, it's already inherently furry. I agree. I think you'd be a fan of Miles Tails Prower from Sonic. I know the Sonic, well, not every Sonic characters, but I know the Sonic characters, and I do think Tails is one of the cutest ones. Would you look at Alolan for these two? No! Eventually we might get to the Alolan season, but I can't. I want to have progress! I want to have progress! I want to move on! How many have I done today? How many actually in progress? Touch Fluffy Tail originated from Monster Girl Quest. Okay, so it wasn't about it. It wasn't about it. In Japanese, a double letter is not a suggestion, it's pee-pee. It still sounds weird! Alolan season doesn't exist? What, it doesn't have its own gen? Is that what you're saying? It doesn't have its own gen? So, okay, so next up is Jigglypuff. And I don't know how to feel about this guy. I don't know how to feel about this one. Down 14 so far. I'm not doing great. I am not doing... Looking at the time, I'm not doing great. Oops. Oops. Right, so, Jigglypuff. I don't know how to feel about Jigglypuff. On the one hand, I vibe with the idea of, like, basically a sphere, but with a couple of little nubs for arms and legs. In theory... I like the idea. In reality, I feel like the proportions should have been slightly different. I don't know what it is about the proportions. It just feels like it's too extreme. I feel like maybe if the feet were tiny bit bigger, if the arm knobs was a tiny bit bigger, if the ears are fine. The ears are fine. If the eyes were a tiny bit smaller. You know what I mean? Like the proportions are so very slightly off. I love the colors. The colors are fantastic. That purple with that pink is, oh, perfection. So perfect. I just wish the proportions were slightly different. Just a little bit bigger for the arms, a little bit bigger for the feet. But I like the concept itself. I like the concept of, like, this is a ball, a fluffy ball. Have your ball. It's balls. We don't mind if the series lasts a whole month, but I have to get to other stuff as well. What about Atlas, man? What about Atlas? One guy who did a Pokemon Smasher Pass hesitated more on smashing Gardevoir than a Pokemon made of magnets? That's balls. That's having balls. That's having, you know. I can have some respect for that. No Alolan is lazy Pokemon making. They live in Alola, so the species adapted to a new climate, and this is why we don't make new from zero Pokemon. But I think it makes sense, and I think I like the concept of having, like, region-specific variations that have a drastically different climate. I like the concept. I never really cared for the balloon Pokemon. I think I like the concept. But Sprite, they are supposed to be lighter eyes, blue-green sort of. Which is sad because I prefer this than this, for example. And also this. I can see that this one has a different color. And I don't like it as much as the purple. I think the purple was better. To make Ninjas even better, 1.1 meter height! I love it! I love it. What about Atlas? I have to play Atlas. I have to get to Atlas. Jigglypuff was a top tier character in Super Smash Bros. But then her signature move was nerfed. I also don't play Smash, so I'm just judging by design. So yeah, I really like this one. It's just the tiniest bit of changes that I wish I could do. And I also don't know exactly quite how to judge the color palette because you guys are saying it's wrong and it shouldn't be purple. But I love that purple. Like, I really love that purple. So next up is this guy. And boy, oh boy, what happened? What happened? I like this one so much more than this one. And let me tell you what that tells me. That I take this white patch of fur that's there clearly for the belly. And to me, because of the mouth being where it is, it reads as a beard. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't like that this curl is now going up instead of down. So it looks kind of like a turd emoji. I think the ears would benefit by having a different shape instead of the traditional Eevee shape. I know we haven't seen Eevee yet technically, but I just don't feel the shape works with the silhouette in general. I love that they made the feet bigger, but the knobs of the arms stayed equally as small as before. So how about you make the arms as well a little bit bigger? And again, the eyes need to be a little bit smaller. Just a tiny little bit. Like, it looks so much cuter here. But this is a hair curl. This is a turd emoji. This is a hair curl. This is a turd emoji. Am I the only one who says that? Am I the only one who's seeing that? Because this is such a downgrade in so many ways. I don't mind the idea of adding white to the color palette, but make it start at the belly, not at the beard area. Make the eyes smaller. Make the hair. Why? Why? It's a potato with nubs for arms, a turd for hair. I'm not standing for that. I'm not standing for it. Wiggly, their fur feels so good that if two of them snuggle together, they won't want to be separated. Then I'm sure it does, but it looks like a turd. But it still looks like a turd. So, regional Pokemon were a great success, very popular with people, especially in later iterations when they got a bit more involved. Well, I think it's a great concept to have regional Pokemon, to have like a different, like their species evolve differently to a different climate. I think it's a great concept. I'll try to say it clear, even if not accurate. Gen 5 releases 2 Alolan variations. Gen 6 releases 3. Ah, okay. Well, still, I could probably find... There's probably a tier list that just lists all of the Alolan versions, right? There must be a tier list that is just the different regional versions. So we could have that eventually. I think either looks high on something. Because of the eyes. The eyes are so badly proportioned. Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff are like the before and after shots of a child star that you haven't heard in about 12 years. is true! Oh my god, true! It reads like a Homer Simpson 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah, and I don't get it. And I don't get it. Lower that potato rat? Damn. I mean, yeah, it's... Okay, sure, I'll put it there. But it's still on the last tier. It's still on the last tier. Zubat. The bat Pokemon that is in every cave in the world. Listen, it's a bat. It's worse than a bat. Bats are cute. Bats are cute. This one is less cute. You know why? Because it doesn't have eyes. But at the same time, I think that is a strength design-wise. Because again, this is not supposed to be a bat. It's supposed to be a fantasy bat. It's supposed to be a monster bat. And if it's supposed to be a monster bat, I think it makes sense that it doesn't have any eyes. I think it's a good decision. The one thing that I don't like, if it's already not gonna have any eyes, and this is confirming it for me, I wish this weird lines things here, I wish they made sense. Because right now they don't. It doesn't look like a tail. It doesn't look like feet. It doesn't even look like an antenna. Because why the fuck would you have an antenna like that? There's something so odd and awkward about those. It doesn't even help the silhouette. Like, doesn't make it more recognizable. Yes. Could you have done anything else that would have made it recognizable and also better? Yes. Also, if that had a shape that's like... It's like those little tail things centipedes have. Yeah, but it doesn't... At the same time, it's not. Because at least those have like a spiral sort of twist to them. I wish it was logical. I wish it made sense for them to be there. I think the colors work. They're not my favorite colors, but I think they work. I think the decision to take out the eyes also works with the point of the creature. And you know, I think it's a monster. I think it's a monster, dude. For the monster game, I think it works. What I don't like is how they release the regional Pokemon. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Zubat is an onomatopoeia for flapping, also the name of our Henshin hero from 1977. I'm not sure that I would ever hear Zubat and assume an onomatopoeia. Personally, the original Golbat sprite was horrifying. I think the current one is also quite horrifying. Batleech Zubat is A tier for me. I don't think it's A tier for me because of the weird freaking non-antenna. What about the gross needle legs? That's what I'm saying. Like, they don't read as legs. They don't read as antenna. They don't read as tail. You know what? It could be good. It could be good if it read as like some sort of whisker kind of thing where, you know, it can help. You know how they say never cut the whiskers of a cat because they use that for balance and they use that to understand how far they are from stuff? Like, just having the whisker touch a surface is helpful for this or that or whatever. That could have been what this is supposed to be. But it doesn't read as that. It doesn't read as that at all. The lack of eyes is obviously inspired by IRL bats having subpar eyesight and instead relying more on hearing and especially echolocation. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's like a good decision. That's why I'm saying, like, I get where it's coming from and I agree with it. I think it's a good choice. What is not a good choice is the weird non-leg things. Original Golbat is one of the designs people hate and I love. Posted on Talk to Ellie. They reworked it very fast. I think it's already kind of very ugly. I think it's already kind of... I don't like... Ugh. Okay, I don't like that. I actually really dislike that. Rancor? What the fuck is that? No, I'm so glad they reworked that. Oh my god, no. No. Oh wow, there is an only regional tier list. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Show on stream. The problem is that to show on stream because of the way it works. There used to be a very simple way, But then Discord changed how it uses images. And now it's, oh, wait. No, yeah, it was easy. It was easier than I thought. This looks like a pervert. It's not about it looking monstrous or too scary. It's that it looks like it's trying to do inappropriate things to whatever child happens to be catching Pokemon. That is the problem. A Perbat? Yeah, this looks like it should be called Perbat. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Thank goodness that's not what we're ranking. What am I gonna do with this guy? It's definitely not S tier. There's too many things that I don't like. But at the same time, it's not. It's not too many things. It's just like, it's those two fucking things. And maybe, you know what? What I would like to see is, what if it had eyes instead of missing eyes, but they were like clearly blind? Like a glossy white, a misty white eye, you know? Or what if it had eyes, but they were like the tiniest little slits that can't really see, like it's constantly squinting. I think that would also be a good representation of like the whole echolocation thing. I think if it had eyes, but it's just squinting the entire time, I think that could be cute. And I think I would like it more. But the feet is the real issue. The non-feet. The weird thing. I'm gonna put it in the mid-tier. Yeah, mid-tier looks fine for it. Honestly, perhaps 2 dots. Yeah, just like something. I feel like a tiny little something would have helped. Say Zubat fast over and over. No, I don't want to. My tongue will get stupid. If I try. I suck at tongue twisters. Did I ever tell you that? I suck at tongue twisters. They're really bad. Ellie briefly jumped to the other side of the room. I dropped something and I had to pick it up. I'm sorry. But yeah, if there is an only the regional tier list, I could put that in the next poll. That's something we could do. Well, not in the next one, because we would have to see all the other ones first. And Dice Entry says that sometimes Golbat sucks so much blood, it gets too heavy to fly. Fucking scary. That's scary. This is something you don't want to run into a dark cave. Yeah, I know, but if it's a monster game, I kind of want it to be because they are gonna maim me, not because they are going to do other things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Come to think of it, why are there so many Pokemon with big dripping tongues? Probably because of the yokai inspirations. As far as I know, and I'm not a yokai expert at all whatsoever, but as far as I know, there's quite a lot of yokai that have like the whole big dripping tongues. I'm completely biased towards Zubat because I discovered Crobat is my most liked Pokemon and that's why Zubat is A tier. But fuck Golbat, that's horrible in it. That's horrible in it! Yeah, I like the little guy. And I'm glad that they changed the sprite for this guy to not have the tongue anymore. I'm glad. I think the decision of making the entire torso a mouth is weird as fuck. I don't vibe with it. Think of the anatomy for 1 second, right? Where the hell is the heart of this creature? Or the lungs? Or the liver? Or the kidney? Or the stomach? All I see is a face. It's one face. Why? Why is it one face, a pair of wings, and weird legs with feet? No! I'm literally just so confused at this design choice. I'm so confused. I just wanted to make a little bit more sense. If you want to give it a big mouth, I get that. Echolocation. I understand the concept. But for the love of fuck, leave some space for the organs. Who needs organs when you have a mouth like that? I need organs. Why do you find... First you want feet, then you don't like the feet. I like it more than the non-feet the other one had. I really do. The problem with this one is just that there's no space for organs. I don't get it. So what would happen in a typical Japanese game? Well, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. Pokemon that abduct kids are nothing new, and the Golbat they went with looks very dopey. It does. You know why? Because it doesn't have organs. I think Golbat doesn't work as a creature design. Where does the food go? That's what I'm saying. And also that blood drinking derp is 1.6 meters. Oh, that's horrifying. That is horrifying. Bro. No. Oh, I hate that. Thank you for telling me that. I hate it with a passion. That's on you for being a perv. Clearly it wants to eat you. No, with that tongue. No. Also, it doesn't even have organs. Why does he want to eat me? He has no stomach. Golbat really gets an improvement when it evolves through friendship into Crobat. Crobat? I don't think it's in this gen. Is it? You want to be in Crobat for ages, but man, that one I don't understand how anyone likes. Okay, so it's not in this one. Is it in this one? Is it in this gen or not? It probably dawned on them that the tongue would get in the way of everything it does, and it would be constantly biting it. It would. It definitely would. There is none. There's just bottomless, insatiable void. I hate that. After the whole drama with Typhlosion from Pokemon Arceus kidnapping a human girl, I will say Pokemon is becoming darker. Golbat is nothing compared to that. Yeah, and I'm not gonna talk about that. I personally am not going to. Golbat is especially weird when you look at pictures of it with its mouth closed. Where does the mouth go? Anyways, I'm gonna put it in Y tier. I think we all knew that was gonna happen. Like, no. I don't like that. I imagine a 10-year-old would lose lethal amounts of blood to one of these. I think anyone would. 1.6 meters? I think anyone would. Crobat is 10 too. I see. Except real bats don't suck blood. They lap it up with their tongues. Also, real bats are mostly fruit eaters. There's very few bat species that actually drink blood. Or at least that drink blood as their staple meals. There is such a thing, but most of them are either insectivores or like vegetarians. I really like bats, guys. I actually really like bats. Volví, bienvenido, Rodrigo, bienvenido. It's my most liked Pokemon ever. What, the Crobat that we're not reviewing this time around? Oh my god, why have I never googled this? What? Check Discord for closed mouth Golbat. Okay. Wait, officer, what are you talking about? What is this? Oh, this is so stupid! This is so stupid. This is so stupid. I hate it. Real bats are just tiny dogs with wings. I know. I really like bats. Bats are really cute. I like them so much. Watch me die and reincarnate as a bat person one day. I love bats so much. Okay, enough of that stupid ass. This is just a cat with wings. Also, yeah, I don't like how the ears looked like cat ears in that drawing. In here, they look more like they could be ambiguously shaped. In that one, it was just cat ears. Alright, so Oddish rhymes with grog. How can Oddish rhyme with grog? Huh? Okay, so Oddish. That's just a weed with eyes. I'm gonna be so controversial with this one, but I fucking love this guy. I think he's like the perfect example of a round shape. It's like the whole thing is basically just a sphere. It has the plushy face. I only wish the eyes were black. But it's just a little dude. He's just a little guy. He's just a little friend. He has this big mat of leaves for hair. And he looks happy. And he looks friendly. And he doesn't even have arms. So you probably have to take care of him very well. And he's probably kind of useless. But you know, he would be good company. I love him. I love him. I love him. And I'm biased. And I'm sorry. I'm not changing that rating. He's adorable and I want one. Period. That's it. It all goes downhill from here. It all goes downhill from here. That's the look I imagine when you have when I say things. Slightly different, officer. Slightly different. More suspicious. Just as weed with eyes? No, he's not. He's a friend. He's a dude. He's a goofy goober. Yes. Yes. That's a good descriptor. Ellie really has no understanding of which of her takes are controversial. Yeah, I don't. You guys have broken me. You guys have broken me. I've said such non-controversial takes that were even supported by Google. And you've read me to filth on those. And now I don't know what my controversial takes are. Now I don't know. Anyways, it's all downhill very fast from there because that was adorable. And this is not. That was perfect. And this, I don't get at all whatsoever. First of all, why are those lips? Do I need to explain? No. Second of all, why is it drooling? I don't like that. I don't like that it has big lips. I don't like that it's drooling. It's a turnip, bro. It should, or whatever. If it's not a turnip, it's some other vegetable. It should not have big juicy lips. I don't like that it's drooling. I don't like that the eyes are very, very big and eternally closed. I don't know if they are eternally closed. I actually kind of hope they are. Because if those bitches open, look at how much space they use in the face. That is way too much space. I don't want them to open. It looks too big. I don't like the hair. Leaves. Whatever. It's like a dead orange kind of grass look. But it's also like messy. In a weird way. And the best part is the plant on top. That's the best part of the entire thing. But I hate everything else. I hate everything else so much. How would that be controversial? It's cold at best. I'm sorry. I don't understand what my hot takes and my cold takes are anymore. I have no understanding. Rigged? Of course it's rigged, Alfarius. I never pretended it wasn't. Absolutely it's rigged. This is Gloom, aka Kusaihana Stinkflower. Let me Google a Stinkflower. Just to see what the original inspiration... To see if that changes my rating. Oh yeah, that does change my rating. I like it even less now. The Stinkflower has such a very specific look to it that looks more interesting shape-wise than this thing. Why? Why would they make the flower just 4 balls? I don't like it. I hate everything about it. Several Pokemon in the series are small with no arms and they are all just adorable perception. I agree! Adorable perfection indeed, Alex. Gloom is just high. He definitely looks high. Gloom is kind of supposed to be a bit disgusting though. Yeah, but it's too disgusting. I don't like it. You think Gloom is gloomy looking? P.S. Yes, that's his name. I don't think it's gloomy looking. I think it looks high. I don't think it looks gloomy. From his mouth, Gloom drips honey that smells absolutely horrible. Apparently, it loves the horrid stench. It sniffs the noxious fumes and then draws even more to its honey. I think that could have been represented somehow else? Maybe from the flower itself? Like the flower could have... Here's the thing. If you look at the sting flower, it has petals that go down. They open down. It could have those petals instead of the weird grass. And those petals could be big like a hat. And the petals could be drooping down. And those could have edges that drip the honey. And that would create a very interesting silhouette. It would be closer to the flower. And it would not make it have big juicy lips that are drooling. I hate this. En Jardín de Infantes tenía una compañera que vomitaba cada vez que le mostraba ese Pokémon Mood. That's what I mean. It's so fucking gross. Thanks, Ellie. I never noticed the implications of this sprite, but now I will never unsee it. That's what I'm here for. That is what I'm here for. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Ellie nonchalantly roasting the poor guy. And I will, again, I will roast the fuck out of this thing. Dancy, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. So far, not anime nor manga has depicted a Gloom with open eyes. And I'll tell you why. They're too big to fit. If those eyes open, they go outside his fucking head. You're really going to like Gloom's alternative evolution when you get to Gen 2? Hopefully. Stingflower is just a literal translation of its JP name. It's technically a young Rafflesia. Okay, let me go with that one to see if my opinion changes. That is the exact flower I was looking at. And it looks way more interesting than what the design ended up as. So yeah, I would change this design so significantly. Like, bro, you have no idea. I would change it so significantly. So I'm gonna put it in the Y tier. Why? Oh my god, why? Next up, the last evolution, I assume. See, this is an improvement. This is better. This is what the flower looks like. Actually, this is what the flower looks like. And this is why I mean it could look like a big hat. But if you wanted them to look different, first, the idea of making one of them big and round and juicy. The petals, these petals look like big, round, and juicy. The other ones could have looked flatter. Actually, let me see this thing before it flowers. How is it supposed to look like? Unripe, maybe? How do you say... Is there one adjective for flower that has not yet bloomed? Immature? Maybe? Okay, I'm seeing how it looks when it's immature. So now I'm changing, in my mind, I'm changing the way that the other one would look in my redesign. I am changing the way that I would make the other one look, but I would still have changed it. I would definitely still have changed it. Bloomant? Yes, Bloomant. That definitely looks so much more interesting than what the freaking Pokemon did. You can see Gloom with open eyes if you Google Pokemon Colosseum Gloom. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it anyways. It will still end up on the Y tier, for sure. Gen 1 Vileplume had perspective issues. This one, is this Vileplume? This one is Vileplume, Blossom is Gen 2. I really like this one. I really like this one. I found it for you? Yeah, I think I found it as well. Retext, that is not what I thought you were finding. Oh, that's awful. I hate it so much more. I hate it so much. What the fuck? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. hated creature that I've ever tier ranked so far. I hate it so much. What do I hate more? That thing or Fwak? I'm not sure. It's a tight battle. It's a tight race. Vileplume has the world's largest petals. They are used to attract prey that are then doused with toxic spores. Once the prey are immobilized, this Pokemon catches and devours them. Oh man, gruesome. Damn. My eyes. Same. What in God's name was that? You can thank Retich for finding that. And who said it? Alex. For suggesting that we could see him with open eyes at some point. I feel like I've contributed to the stream only by sharing cursed Pokemon knowledge. Alex, you sure have. Ellie put Gloom on the not even its mother loves it tier. You're so right. Let's make an extra tier. But did I do that for Fwak or did I just put it on the last tier? Whatever. Okay. Not even his mother loves him. It needs to be like this ugly color. I hate that color. Get out! Get out! You did it when you needed it, and we needed it now. We definitely needed it at this exact point. Alright, so what do I feel about this one? I like it. This ugly color, it's her hair color. It's not! This one is way more purple. It's an ugly shade of purple. Look at this. Ugly shade of purple. Look at this. Look at... I can't point at myself. You're just gonna have to imagine that. Like, wait. Look at this. Warm reddish pink. Look at that. Weird pinkish purple. Blah. Blah. So, what do I think about this guy? I think it's a significant improvement. I think he looks like a happy little guy again. I think the idea of making the flower like a big hat adds to the silhouette. I think the color palette is great. I think the knobs for arms and the legs are working proportional wise. I think they could be just a tiny bit smaller, but they work, you know? They work. I think there's nothing really to change. Again, it's like the eyes of the sprite. Maybe now that we know about the whole honey thing, like it would be interesting if this was dripping a little bit. It stinks, so it would be interesting to see if it would have some sort of indication that it has some toxic fuming. Like it could be made a little bit more interesting. Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume are supposed to have the same tone of dark blue for their body below the plant part. I'm not sure the sprite reflects that. I think it does. I think it's, well, I think it gets a little bit darker, but it may just be the contrast to the other colors. So, Vileplume, I love the design. It's so sweet, but then I get sad remembering it's a stink flower and it would reek. It would definitely reek. It's one of those examples of I would never let this little guy evolve, but I want one, but I would never let him evolve. Gotta go, thanks for stream. Goodbye, Retich. Goodbye. Thank you so much for being here. You can do this. You can survive tomorrow and be free for the weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good night. So where would I put this? Where will I put you? I think it's definitely not as good as the Oddish, but I think it's like a really solid design. Very little would have to be changed. Just like the tiniest tweak. Just like the tiniest tweak. Stink only applies for Gloom Honey. The Vileplume doesn't stink. It's a stink flower. So this guy... Oh boy, I hate him. Let me go to the original art, see if that changes. Okay, that's better. That's better. But I still don't like it. Huh. I don't like it. Okay, how do we be nice about this? I cannot be nice about this. The colors are whack. This red with this yellow are way too saturated for this orange, and they are calling my attention way too much in a way that's jarring. I hate the weird mouth with the teeth coming out. It's like, it's a cute little creature, but it has this horrendous, like, horror kind of mouth. I don't like it. I also don't like that it has like one of those round clown noises. Why? Why are we giving it a round clown nose and then a big mouth of teeth and void? I don't like it. Are these supposed to be claws? Because they don't look like claws. They don't have two sides of the pincer. It's just a spike, which it can work, don't get me wrong, but it's also very clear it's supposed to be a crab. So I wish there was some sort of clear indication it's either a spike or a claw, but like it doesn't read as either. I don't like that the little legs, it looks in the sprite like it had only two legs on the back, not on the like, how is this thing walking? I don't understand how it's walking. Maybe there are a couple of extra legs here in the original drawing, but they don't seem to be present here, and I don't like that. Also, are the eyes circles in here, or are they crosses? Because in here, they look like crosses. I don't like it. There's not a single thing I can say about this one that I think I like. A tick being parasitized by fungus, it is perhaps the weakest Pokemon of all time. So it's a tick, not a crab. Okay. So that's why it doesn't have pincers. But this one has pincers! Alright, so Vileplume has the world's largest petals. They are used to attract prey. We read that. Paras and Parasect, the Pokemon who has 3 to 4 times weakness, and it's weirdly very aggressive in Legend Arceus. Means nothing to me. I just think it's so fucking ugly. Man, I just think it's so fucking ugly. Paras is a Pokemon who gets taken over by the fungus. The bug becomes a husk. Ellie, it's pixel art. You cannot do circles. It has to be crosses. Okay, so we have to take it as crosses. Sorry, we have to take it as circles. We have to take it as circles instead of crosses. It looks... Okay, in small size, it does look like circles. I still hate everything about it. I'm still gonna put it there. As I said, I don't like the mushrooms being so saturated. I don't like the proportions. I don't like the weird mouth. I don't like that it has a clown nose. I don't like that it doesn't have visible legs to move on. I don't like that the pincers look like pincers, but are clearly not pincers and they're just pokers. I don't like anything about it. I've said my piece. Next, this one is better. This one is better because it's at least like an interesting concept. This one is like, it's like a crab, but it's instead of a shell, it's a mushroom. It's like, okay, I vibe. This one has visible legs to walk. This one has very clearly clamps. Clamps? I forgot the name of them. The thingies. The... For the crab. I said it like 3 times and I forgot. Pincers! Thank you! The pincers. It clearly has pincers. It has visible legs to walk on. It's like a very clear concept of like, what if crab but instead of shell, mushroom? And I think it's a great concept. I think the silhouette is very clear, very understandable. Big meaty claws. Pincers. I meant pincers. Don't quite like that the eyes are purely white, But as you guys are saying, this one is like supposed to be a zombie. This one is supposed to have been taken over by the parasite, so it makes sense. It's like I said with the Zubat. Like, if you give it white, milky eyes, it's understandable that there's something off about the eyes. So it looks like blind or zombie. And I think, you know, that's a good decision. I think the colors for some reason work better now, even though they are the same colors. And that's probably because of the whole shape of the thing, the color distribution. Maybe. Paras and Parasect are weak to flying, poison, rock, bug, fire, ice, a slight breeze, and kind words. Which means I just killed that other guy. And you know what? I'm not gonna feel too guilty about it. I just said the truth. I just said the truth. It was fact. But yeah, I like this one significantly more. It's not a shell mushroom. No, it's like what if crab, but instead of shell mushroom. The concept is not mushroom crab shell. It's bug is dead, mushroom is in control now. Yes, that's the concept, that's the lore. But when you look at this, it looks like a hermit crab that instead of a shell has a mushroom. Maybe I could be clearer about this. It's like the visual concept. It's like it's a hermit crab but with a mushroom instead of a shell. Aside from the lore explanation, you know? Anyone else lose the stream? I hope not. It looks entirely green on my side. I think the original idea was to have a section of the game, have a cave that only had Paras as an encounter, and Parasect was the boss of the area, guarding a chest that contained a full restore inside. I think that's kind of cool. I have never played a Pokemon game, so I don't know how it compares to whatever the actual game has. There exists a Hermit Crab Pokemon that isn't Parasect. I think Hermit Crab can have a lot of creativity applied to it. Because, like, as I said, this one is, like, visually, this is like, oh, Hermit Crab, but mushroom instead of shell. And that's a very clear visual design, and I like it. But I think there's a lot more places to go with that. Oh, okay, here, no cuts. All right, well, in my case, it looks green, but also at the same time, that made me realize that at the time that it is. And that made me realize this is the last one. This is the last one that I do today. And I'm gonna put it in the middle tier. Even though I'm praising it, no, actually, I cannot. It has to be higher. Because I'm praising it a lot, and I'm saying, like, there's very little I would change. In fact, there's nothing I would change. It's just that the white eyes do make me very uncomfortable, and I kind of wish I could find a way to swap them out and still give that zombie vibe. They just make me slightly uncomfortable. I just don't know that I would have a better solution. To reach the quota, you need at least 4 more. What quota, though? How many? 25? 30? Before the white cat looking one, you mean Meowth? I know Meowth, man. I know Meowth at the very least. Oh, but it's so late. It's so late, guys. 24 for stream. If you reach the trio, you'll be at 51. Okay, sure. Rapid fire round. Rapid fire. This one is weird for me because I like the idea of a fluffy ball of hair, and I like the antennae being like long and ending in a bulb. I like that, but something about the purple and red color palette just makes me unsettled. And just like I said with this guy, where is he? Just like I said with this guy, it's like the weird clown nose that is clearly a muscle, kind of, it's weird. I wish it was more clearly a little snout situation. And the same thing is here. I have the same thing here. I know that this is probably a snout with some teethsies. In my mind, that looks like a clown nose and weird white snot and or a mustache. You know what I mean? Like, I don't quite vibe with that. I also don't like how the eyes are textured. You could have something like this where it looks glossy and shiny and like I understand the vibe. In this one, I don't like how it's textured at all whatsoever. You notice that they mixed up Butterfree and Venomoth on your own, did I? It just reminds me of it. It just reminds me of it a lot, but it's like weird and I don't like it. I don't like it. It's a nicer Raider Maze. The eyes work like Raider. I like it. He's fussy. I would like it a lot if it wasn't for the eye texturing. I really don't like the eye texturing. I want it to be shiny and glossy like the other one. And the weird snout with the fucking teeth coming out that looks like snot and or a mustache. Like, why is it coming out from the mouth? Why is it coming out from the mouth that looks like a nose? I don't like it. I'm gonna put it, like, down here. No, it's not that bad. Up there. It's not that bad, but I don't like it. It's 1 meter tall? That's too big. Way too big. Sheriff Pumpkin, welcome and hello. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. Venonat was supposed to be pre-Butterfree. That makes sense. If I put it right next to it, that makes so much sense. Actually, you know what? They belong together. I'm gonna leave it at that. Mandibles, Ellie, mandibles, but they don't look like mandibles. They just don't. And I don't like it. They don't look like mandibles. I'll put something you can look at the Discord later after the stream. Okay, sure. They interchange the evolutions. When you see Venomoth and you look back at Metapod and Caterpie, you will get it. You'll have to remind me of which ones those are. Now, this one, I wish I liked more. Because I love moths. And because I like a lot of things about it. I love the wings. I love the color palette. I love the big, round, glossy, shiny eyes. I hate the fucking mandibles. Again, I don't think Gen 1 understood how to do insect mandibles. I think it was doing it in such a weird way that doesn't even read as mandibles properly. I don't like this weird yellow arm thingies either. They are so useless. I think either make them a little bit longer, like the actual legs of an insect, or make them little tiny knobs. If they're gonna be decorative, might as well make it a little bit, you know, more pleasant to look at. That is like a weird middle length that makes no sense. I wish it was longer. Like proper legs. I wish it worked like proper legs. I don't mind the things on top. I think antenna would be better. But, you know, it's there. It's fine. It's fine. Nope. It's there. With the rest of the insects. Venomoth swapped the color palette and its Caterpie Metapod? Huh? 1.5 meters is insane for that. What do you mean? That's way too fucking big. Caterpie is the green worm and Metapod is the green moon. Metapod? And Caterpie. Caterpie! This one! Okay, so... what are you saying that it's supposed to be? These three? Caterpie, Metapod, Moth? Is that what you're supposed to... is that what it was supposed to be? Okay, Diglett. I feel like I'm repeating myself so much, but did it need a big red clown nose? Did it need it? Did it fucking need a big red clown nose? I like the concept. The concept is like a little critter that lives under the earth and it peeks out. There's plenty of insects that do that. There's plenty of insects that are like below the dirt and they peek out the little heads and it can be adorable. Didn't need the big clown nose. I even like the small bitty eyes. It works. It works well enough. Red, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Oh my god, I haven't seen you in an age. How are you? How have you been? I hope you've been doing good. Moles have been noses. This is not a mole. This is an insect, right? This better be supposed to be an insect. You can just look at the thing in the Discord if you like. Let me take into the... I wanna rush through this, so let me take until the wrap up. I wanna honk it. I want it to not be there. Not an insect, supposed to be a mole? Then I hate it. Then I actually hate it. If you've ever seen a mole, moles are rodents. Moles look like rodents. Moles look like rodents. Where the fuck is this rodents thing? Why doesn't it have a pointier face with an actual snout? That actually makes me hate it so much more. Like, did it need the red fucking clown nose? No, it didn't. Because it needed a freaking snout. Diglett the mole Pokemon is a whack-a-mole from arcades? I really disagree with that. I wish it had been based on an actual mole and not a simplification of a mole for a freaking arcade game. I don't think anyone actually knows what a Diglett is, although fan artists have theories. Well, see, here's where we're getting the explanation. It's apparently a whack-a-mole from arcades, and I hate that. Design-wise. Okay, let me talk about the design a little bit. The color palette is very solid. As much as I complain about the big red clown nose, it does work with the brown. It works well. It works fine. The color palette works. The silhouette is incredibly recognizable because it's just one knob on textured earth. There's not much to say about it other than I wish it had more of a shape. I wish it was more of a mole. I wish it had a bit of a snout, a bit of a head with like the little pointy nose, and it could have been better. It could have been better. You know what I mean? It's good. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. But it could have been so much better. It could have been so much better. And don't even get me started on this one. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. Listen. An evolution shouldn't just be multiply it and stick it together. At least not in this case. Is it supposed to be a mole? Then how about it just has more of the body out? How about it has some of the claws of the mole? But not, because it's not a mole. It's a whack-a-mole from an arcade. I hate it. I hate it. It looks weird. It changes basically nothing. It just copy-pastes and calls it a day. If it was a real mole, we could have big claws or something like it. But no, we can't have that. And I'm annoyed. So I'm gonna put this significantly lower. I'm gonna put it here, actually. I hate it that much. It also has angry eyebrows. Yeah, and I hate that. I actually hate that. I hate it so much. I hate everything about it. And it's weird because the other one is the exact same thing, but it works here and it doesn't work here. The silhouette is also clunky. If you look at the silhouette, it's like someone drew a very immature micro penis in a class board, in a classroom green board. You know, it's like whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't like that. I don't like the silhouette. I don't like the concept itself. I don't like the stupid little angry eyebrows. I don't like the clown nose. I don't like that it's just a lazy copy-paste. It's a lazy copy-paste, and I don't dig it. And with that, we've gotten to the quota. We've done 51 out of 151. Oh my fuck. Ah! That's fine, guys. I just need to do 2 more streams in which I do double the amount that I did today. That's doable, right? That's possible? That's so achievable. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I'll get faster somehow. I don't know how, but I'll get faster somehow. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Oh yeah, I have seen the white Vulpix and the white Ninetales, and I love them so much. They would also be at the very top of the tier. And like, here's the thing, Vulpix. If I had the Vulpix that is drawn, that is like adorable as all fuck. Like, if you give me this Vulpix, you can bet that this would be on top tier, like absolute top tier. Do you have any doubts? Any doubts whatsoever? No, you know that it would be. But, you know, I also do believe in having it separate from Ninetales, because it is, like, Ninetales is better. And that it's good to represent that. So, yeah, that's my list for today. Did I have any very bad takes? I don't think so. I think my takes are fine. Because no one reacted to them as I was doing them. So, you know, there's that. Another day, another freaking, how many? 20-something Pokemon. I need to get faster. I need to get faster. I need it to be more. The Guacamole are closer to Diglett than the proper mole. Also, Alolan, Diglett, and Dog Trio were so memed. Yeah, I've seen them around. Kinda. You will like Drillbur? Drillbur. That one doesn't sound familiar. The 4 images they just sent to the Discord are official art. Yeah, I've seen them around for sure. Ever heard of the arcade game of hitting a cylinder mole with mallets in order to obtain a certain score and a line of small papers known as tickets in order to perform trade of said tickets for goods? Hamza, I love that you are explaining the entire concept of arcades as if I was an alien. I think I should play dumb about many things so that people would explain them to me as if I was an alien, because I find it actually really fun. I actually really love it when people, like, explain concepts so thoroughly that I am already familiar with, because it makes me feel like again, I have no other way to describe it. It makes me feel like if I was an alien discovering human life for the first time. It's great. It's a great feeling, a nostalgic feeling, I guess. You don't like multis? There goes Train Mouse and Phalanx. I feel like it's lazy. I feel like it's lazy. Like, you're just copy-pasting and calling it a day? No, you can do better. I want you to do better. You know? The reason they're so upset is because they have to share a Pokeball. They're crammed in there like sardines. I guess I would be mad too. Well, Ari, there is a Pokemon that are 6 eggs together. That single Pokemon, they don't exist as a single egg, but they move independently. How? How do they move independently if they are one Pokemon? The thing with Duck Trio is that they needed to reach 150 Pokemon in the game, and they just said, okay, make it a triple and call it a day. That's the feeling! That's the feeling I get! It just feels lazy. It just feels lazy. Fun fact, Dugtrio is weirdly really fast. That makes it worse for some reason. Although I guess it makes sense with the whole whack-a-mole, because if it's the evolution, it's like the later part of the arcade game where the moles are going very fast. I understand the concept. I could hear that scream of agony. Yeah, I'm not gonna be done in 2 more streams, aren't I? Well, if I could do 3. If I could do 3, that would also work. Right? I smell the cope. Yeah, I'm trying to cope. Now that you're done, I think I may be finished with my art. I mean, I would actually like to do more with it, but I may be too tired to do so. Would you like to take a look at it? I think after the stream is better. Did you check the Diglett on Discord? I did. I just don't want to comment on the... I don't want to comment on the other ones. I already mentioned that you know, I want to keep it separate. I'm trying to get through the tier list, man. I feel like your takes are fair and reasonable, at least for the ones when I arrived. Nice. Okay. Nice. Ellie did use a lot of time roasting some poor Pokemon. They deserved it. They deserve it. That's what we're here to do. To complain about bad designs and to praise good ones. I was idly listening while doing chores and then suddenly micro penis. I said what I said. I said what I said. Bueno, me voy, te veo en viernes. Que tengas un buen día, Rodrigo. Gracias por venir. Espero que tengas un buen final del día. You live in Argentina. Are there arcades in there? I have multiple times mentioned arcades, so yes. Yes, actually. Explain to Ellie why the power goes out whenever she plays with the funny wall toy. Please do. Please do. Explain the funny wall toy as if I was an alien, please. Instead of just an animal, how about 2 animals? Yeah, I can't. Like, bro, you're designing this. Put a little bit of effort into it. Oh, disculpe, señora porteña, que sí tenían arcades cuando en el norte jugábamos todavía la pelota porque no había nada mejor que hacer. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry, bruh. I'm so sorry about it. There's another Pokemon that just evolves by adding more, but it gets a future evolution, which does something unique. That's what I want. I want the evolutions to do something more than just copy and pasting. Because, you know, like, someone is getting paid to design these things. The game never had a problem with filling the 151 slots. If anything, they were forced to cut a lot just to fit the game. Nintendo was reportedly unhappy about the fact that the final count was 151 instead of the 150 that they believed are on the card. So they didn't copy-paste that mole whack-a-mole just because they were, like, needing to fill a quota? Because that makes it even worse. That is making even worse. I'll have to rewind for the controversial Pikachu take. I guess you'll have to, but no one thought it was controversial, apparently. People called it a mild take. Pretty sure you did say they don't sell mousepads here from gaming companies, and they don't. You're mixing things. Without what they have or don't have in Argentina. Don't try to understand Argentina, I think is the best piece of advice. I think the best piece of advice I can give you is don't try to understand, just assume the worst. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I have mentioned playing in an arcade before. I mentioned it, I had this one experience, right? Where someone had left 1 billion credits in Sonic, and I got to play practically all of Sonic with some friends when we were on holidays because the machine just had 6,000 or something like that credits. Which was probably just a bug or something. It was really fun. Okay, Snake, I gotta go. It's getting late. Goodbye. Goodbye, Nix. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming. Have a good day. Moles are very family-minded, you know. Are they? Are they? Weren't like 50 of the Gen 2 Pokemon transplants from the cut content of the first game? That's what people are saying. People are saying that the Gen 2 is practically like a sequel to Gen 1. And so many of the Gen 2 designs are just based on Gen 1. In Argentina, they sell everything, but no one can afford it. So, funnily enough, they don't sell everything, but there are a lot of things that you can get if you know how to. It's just that it's ridiculously expensive. There's a few things that I don't think you're gonna get at all. And especially if you're looking for specific things from like specific brands, you're not gonna get that. But there's some things that if you know where to look, you might be able to find. It's just so expensive. So about the Dex number count, originally there was meant to be 150 Pokemon, but Game Freak found a very tiny amount of cartridge space left, so they added Mew as a joke, and that's why it's 151. They added Mew as a joke? That's like one of the most iconic Pokemon in the entire thing. Don't try to understand someone you talk a lot. I'm pretty sure that's common human behavior. I didn't say someone. I said my country. It's the kind of thing that you cannot understand unless you are doing a whole lot of researching or you just live there. Gen 2 is practically a sequel to Gen 1. You don't say. Well, not all of the gens are practically a sequel, bro. Not all of them are. Gen 2 is very divisive. There's many people who I assume started with it that swear by it being the best thing since sliced anime. But there's also people like me who believe that the fact that the project was rushed doesn't excuse the state it shipped in. So, in my case... Again, like, I'm not a Pokemon player, right? So I have no stakes in this. I have no horses in this race. Conceptually, I do like the idea of... I think... Okay, so what I'm trying to get at emotionally is... I think if I had been a player... Imagine, like, knowing myself. I think... If I imagine that I was, like, playing this game and I really liked it. Pokemon comes out, I play it, I'm like, oh, this is so cool, blah, blah, blah. And then Gen 2 comes out, and it's like, clearly these are new evolutions for the Pokemons that I'm already playing with, or interested in, or bonded to. I think I would have gotten so hyped about that. So it's, in my opinion, from an extremely unknowing place, an extremely ignorant place of what it feels like to actually play them, I think I would probably I probably would have gotten really hyped about it. Mew original sprite was literally a fetus. I see the resemblance kind of if I think of some art, but not literally. Name 2 Pokemon and I'll make a versus edit on it. Mush, welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Welcome, welcome. I'm blanking. I'm not a Pokemon player, so all of these names kind of go in and out of my mind. Ninetales versus Pikachu. I don't know. Man, I don't know. A warning for Pokemon content if you read this start. Long ago when the boundary between Pokemon and humans was still blurred, stop and leave. Yeah, I don't watch much Pokemon content anyways. Basically, they made Mewtwo's lore about being a clone of Mew, but you can't find Mew in the game without glitches, so the joke was that it does actually exist in the files, but you'll never get it. Oh, you cannot find Mew in the game? It's entirely a glitch thing? Interesting. People got it anyways because the game had more bugs than there are mods in my room. Oh boy. That's making me think of another game. That's giving me trauma. Was Gen 2 Rush? Never really got that feeling from it, but I only had one other game to compare it to. I enjoyed it. Nicer graphics and in color, more Pokemon, more places to explore. The revisit of the first game. That's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like if I had been a player, I would have gotten really hyped about it. Again, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't have. But from knowing myself, it sounds like that would have been the vibe for me. Could we send you an OST to react off stream of Pokemon? It's from Gen 1 and it's one of the most famous OST, Lavender Town. Sure, but just don't expect much from it. Don't expect much from it. I'm not the most... I don't have the biggest reactions to a soundtrack unless I feel really strongly about it. If a soundtrack hits, for me, it hits. If it doesn't, I end up not having much of an opinion on it. It's very much a 0 or 100. Actually, there's things that I hate. So it's very much an either I hate it or love it, or I literally have no opinion on it situation for me with soundtracks. Check Talk to Ellie. That doesn't look like a fetus. I mean, I see the inspiration, maybe. Kind of? Sort of. I wouldn't call it literally a fetus at all. Oh yeah, the only remotely reasonable way to get Mew was to glitch it in or use a cheating device. Ooh. Chain not safe for work means for some laugh. It's Pokemon related, Diglett related. I don't know if I want to. You're not selling it to me. You're not selling it to me in any way that makes it like I want to. You weren't meant to, but people did. Also, after Nintendo stopped being angry, they did make an official giveaway for Mew for people attending some events. Why were they angry? Excuse me. If you're putting a thing in your game, you cannot get angry when people access a thing in your game. Am I crazy? No, they are crazy. If you're putting a thing in your game, even if it's hard to achieve and hard to get, you can't be mad that people got it. It's in your game. If you didn't want it to be achievable in any way, shape, or form, you leave it out of the game. It looks more like a cat doing that meme of the kids training so hard that it forehead baseballs. Yeah, I agree with that. I would call it less a fetus and more that meme specifically. It's not curse content, Ellie. It's just a mouse and lols. Okay, I'll believe you. I'll believe that. Maybe it's not that bad and cursed. They were angry because they were hoping to sell the exact same game in the same generation a third time, which they then still did via Pokemon Yellow? You have to be trolling about that. No, Ellie, not his foreskin veins. Get your head out of the gutter. Forehead! Forehead! You know English is my second language. Sometimes it slips, okay? Sometimes it slips. To be fair to Pokemon, they did on Japan-only events that you were supposed to go, and if you participate and win, you unlocked a secret of the game, the proper way to get a Mew or other Pokemon. That's so shitty to me, because like, geographic, and this is obviously something that I have strong opinions on because of living in Argentina, but like, having geographically locked things is so inherently isolating. Like, you want my money to buy your game, but then part of the game is going to be entirely unachievable for me just because of where I was born. It just feels very shitty, man. And I know that I have strong feelings on this because of my personal situation, but hey, maybe think about people that aren't in the 3 big cities that the companies tend to work in. Honestly, they got mad over nothing because Mew's discovery was what led to the Pokemon boom back in the 2000s. Oh, really? It was like a big thing that gave them popularity? I guess it makes sense it would. I think it definitely makes sense. And yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. It's such a Nintendo thing. Not just Nintendo. I'm trying to say, like, it's such a traditional corporate thing to be mad at something that is literally just organic marketing that's beneficial. There's a complete disconnection in a lot of corporate spaces of what actually constitutes lost revenue versus what is actually going to be much more worthy as word of mouth than it would as restrictive paid content. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to talk about it too much. But it's something you see quite a bit. It's something you see quite a bit. Like, can you get money by doing these events that people can attend and pay tickets for? Yeah, I'm sure. But you know how you can make even more money? With people being hyped and excited and selling more games worldwide. You know? It's garbage. Yeah, it's garbage. They sold 3 games for so long. First, the version A and B had some Pokemon that could be captured only on A or only on B. And then the C game had a mix of both and had special new things, but not new Pokemon. I hate that market strategy. If I may say, I actually hate that market strategy. Red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, diamond, pearl, platinum. I hate that business strategy so much. I think that's another reason why I don't see myself becoming a Pokemon gamer ever. Like, you want me to choose? You want me to pick and choose? No, you want me to buy 3 versions of the same game. You think I will play the 3 versions of one game? I am here looking for games that will last me 6 hours to 10 hours as a perfect game length. And you want me to play the same game 3 times? Just because you want to sell 3 copies of the same... I hate it. I hate it very much. Those are the names of the first 4 gen Pokemon games for the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, Nintendo DS, and I think you could have totally put a fake console in there. Wouldn't have noticed the difference whatsoever. I think Mew was distributed to other countries as well, but you were at the mercy of whichever local Nintendo partner. Yeah, and that sucks as well. The least said about Sword, Shield, and Gun, the better. Wait, is that actually how it goes? Sword, Shield, and Gun? From Gen 5 onwards, they made only 2 games, A and B, up to today. Still the same shit. I'm not playing a game twice just because you're doing a shitty market business strategy to get me to buy it twice. That actually makes me not even interested in the franchise in the first place. You're being unfair. You're not supposed to buy 3 copies. You're supposed to buy 1 and trade with people. Okay, that's cute. Wait. That's actually kind of cute. Vorador, I'll agree. When you sell it like that, that's adorable. Because it's like encouraging cooperation, encouraging connecting with others. Okay, that's cute. You might have changed my entire mindset about it. The 3 game things was actually not the original intent. We have the original doc submitted as a pitch to Nintendo. The original author wanted like 1,000+ versions? What the fuck? Sword and Shield or AMB, Gun doesn't exist. Officer! See, this is why you cannot trust the officer. This is why I cannot trust you. Every time in the future that I don't trust in something you say, think back to this moment. Think back to this point. To be fair, originally the split version thing was probably done as a way to build real-life rivalries, which is why the player character and rival are named red and green or blue. Yeah, I think the way you when you explain it as like an idea for engaging with other players and to encourage cooperation and connection, that actually makes it sound so much more fun. I think for the US, it was given out at a handful of Toys R Us buildings in the bigger cities. I don't actually know what the third entry for Sword and Shield is, but what else makes sense? Helmet? Crossbow? Well, officer, you liar. Apparently, it's none. There's only two. So, stop gaslighting me. You were supposed to get one game and change Pokemon with your friends. Yeah, that's cute. Okay, that's cute. That's why they sold the Game Boy cable. I think that's adorable. I think I would have eaten that shit up. It can create a unique experience. For example, my brother and I always got the different versions growing up. Yeah, I think that's really cute. Oh my god, now you're making me want it. What the fuck? You guys turned the thing that was the biggest anti-playing point, and you turned it into the biggest reason I would play. How did you do that? How did you do that? I wonder how long it could take you to finish Metabot for the GBA. I don't know. I haven't heard of Metabot. They stopped doing third versions with Gen 8. With Gen 8? Oh, that took too long. That took way too long, bro. Nintendo made the mistake of assuming us nerds had a bunch of friends, but I like the idea of encouraging it, though. You connected to Game Boys with cable and you could battle or interchange Pokemon. Yeah, that's adorable. Instead of the third version now, which let's be honest, it did suck because you had to replay the game if you bought the original. Starting with the Gen 8, they instead do a DLC expansion, which is much better and cheaper. It makes more sense. A significant more amount of sense. Hey, at least I misled you on purpose. You misled me without even trying. You mislead me without even trying all the time. I never mislead anyone. You all know that I'm not to be trusted because I'm stupid. You all know that. How would I mislead you? Pokemon Gun is just Pal World? True. No, not true. Not true. Patents, licenses, legal processings. It's not true. I had 2 Game Boys and my mother always bought me both versions, so I played alone and changed Pokemon with myself. That's kind of sad. Pokemon stream coming soon? No, I'm not playing Pokemon. Definitely not. I'm especially not doing it on stream. The difference between A and B from Gen 2 onwards, one of the legendary Pokemon, so you choose your favorite. Guess that makes sense. I guess that does make sense. Alright. That is the bottom of the chat though, and it has been about half an hour of wrap up, so I'm gonna get going. This was great, and I enjoyed it, and I feel like I can get faster maybe in the future, maybe, hopefully. To be fair, you're still kind of right about the third version. At least some people were supposed to replay the game. I'm never gonna, like... I would never buy a different version of the game just to have to replay it all over again. I already get pissed off when I need to do that in New Game Plus for a true ending. It already makes my blood boil. Do you check the memes? Later. Later. Now I'm gonna get going. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for not bringing the pitchforks with you. Thank you for finally actually not hating all my takes. And I'm saying that a lot. I don't want anyone to think that I was actually offended. Wait, let me clear the air before anyone thinks I was actually offended at that. I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised, okay? But yeah, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you sleep very well and that you feel very well rested in the morning. And don't forget to stretch. Don't forget to drink plenty of water. Try to eat nutritiously and try to sleep 7 to 9 hours. And most important of all, be kind to yourself and to others, okay? Take care, my stay shifters.